Susie, I just spoke with authorities, and they tell me tonight they pulled 16 bodies out of the water, plus the 4 from earlier today, so that's 20 in total. And take a live look. It's 10 o'clock at night. Juan and Susie, definitely a somber feeling out here. Demonstrators have been here since about 3 o'clock this afternoon. While West Hollywood is the area hardest hit, it is important to note that this virus can be seen all across LA County. This is a huge night, especially for Republicans hoping to turn this district red.
Let's begin with Chris in Monrovia. Chris.
Pat, there's still some light wind in this area, and it's been like this throughout the day. That's a major concern for fire crews, but take a look behind me. You can see this fire, and if you look closely, you can see some hot spots in the area. They include staying alert through your hike, also wearing sturdy boots or long pants like these ones. All right, so it looks like Christy Smith is going to be your biggest competitor from moving on forward. Where do we go from here? What separates the two of you? Tonight, LA County has issued a revised, more strict stay-at-home order that prohibits all public and private gatherings. And Professor, there was a little controversy surrounding his appearance today. Can you explain why that was? Let's go to Cindy McCain now. She's the widow of late Republican Senator John McCain from Arizona. And we're continuing to follow breaking news here on KCAL 9 News, also streaming live on CBSN Los Angeles. And you know, you do see the deputies after the shooting happened open up his door. Right. Hopefully that is a good sign that at least one of those deputies is okay. We do know that they are in critical condition. That's all we know right now. Another thing that was pretty interesting that he talked about was trying to increase the testing here in LA County. It's one of the first things that Mayor Garcetti talked about. I say it's catchy, yeah? Keep that cover on your face, no? Come on, Pat. You know you were singing it with me. So pause and just take a second and watch the TV. Good. The 4 of us are video conferencing on live television. Amber just sent a text message saying, "My dream come true." So, Amber, I'm glad you're so easy to impress. What did I say?
Pixie
Poochie? Poochie Pixie? It's a tongue twister. Trying to get me.
We love to hear you say that, Chris.
The Pixie Poochie.
That's right. Okay.
I'm done. Moving on. Susie, I just spoke with authorities, and they tell me tonight they pulled 16 bodies out of the water, plus the 4 from earlier today, so that's 20 in total. And take a live look. It's 10 o'clock at night. Now, some vans from the coroner's office just arrived, probably getting more bodies in this area. You can see a lot of personnel out there, and at 10 o'clock at night, this area will be blocked off for quite a while. A dramatic Mayday call in the early dawn hour.
Coast Guard received a report of a vessel on fire with 34 people trapped below deck. The vessel fully engulfed now? Roger, and there's no escape hatch for any of the people on board.
By the time the U.S. Coast Guard and other rescue boats arrived, the 75-foot commercial dive boat was fully engulfed in flames. 39 people were on board. 34 of them were nowhere to be found. The 5 who survived were crew members.
The crew was actually already awake and on the bridge, and they jumped off.
After hours of trying to put out the fire, this is the aftermath. Soon after, the Conception went under. The Coast Guard searched the shoreline of Santa Cruz Island. Of the 34 people who were missing, 8 bodies were found. 4 of them were at the bottom of the ocean floor. We were there as recovery crews prepared to bring back some of those bodies back to land. The passengers were all experienced scuba divers. They were part of a Labor Day weekend North Channel Islands dive trip. At 3 a.m., most of them were likely asleep in the bunk area, and there was only one way to get out.
Roger, can you get back on board and unlock the boat, unlock the doors so they can get off?
It's unclear if there was enough time or if the door was even locked. Questions that still remain.
I don't have that information.
It's also unknown what caused this boat to go up in flames.
It was an unfortunate scenario. You know, it's like Santa Barbara's Titanic.
A tragedy that has touched so many in this community. For James Miranda, it hits close to home. He's worked for similar boats in the area.
I just think it was a horrible, unfortunate event for the whole crew, who was probably 2 or 3 decks above the passengers. You know, the passengers are down below, and there's probably nothing the crew or the captain could do.
And I'm told recovery efforts are done for tonight, but search crews will be back out here tomorrow morning. Reporting live in Santa Barbara, I'm Chris Holmstrom, KCAL 9 News. Yeah, that's right, but things are slowly getting back to normal. You can see kids behind me playing, enjoying their summer like they should. But right across the street in this building, there's other families out there who have no place to go.
It's dead. It's gone. It's completely structurally unsafe.
It's a waiting game for the Munstock family. Their home is a complete loss after the 7.1 magnitude earthquake.
It felt like we were on the middle of a roller coaster, in the middle of like a merry-go-round where it's spinning really fast.
Their story is one of many. In fact, days after the quakes hit, there are still dozens of people staying at the Red Cross, many of them with nowhere to go.
I just haven't let it affect me yet. At some point, I'm going to have a screaming breakdown, and hopefully I can get as much stuff and paperwork done as I need to do before it hits.
A few miles down the road at China Lake Naval Station, more unknowns. The base was evacuated Saturday, and access has been restricted to mission essential personnel only. We took a tour of the commissary where much of the ceiling was missing and shelves were emptied of food and products that had been thrown about. Workers were busy cleaning up glass, debris, and damaged products from the commissary's aisles. The base's chapel was also heavily damaged. The earthquake left a gaping hole in one of the steeple walls, and an altar was destroyed.
It is a place where so many things have happened: weddings, funerals, baptisms, all kinds of things. So they have a deep-seated connection with this chapel. So anytime this chapel is not in operation, it is maybe a distress, a little bit of distress.
And there's a community resource meeting scheduled for tomorrow to help these people get back on their feet. Reporting live from Ridgecrest, I'm Chris Holmstrom, KCAL 9 News. Sharon Seiler was only 60 years old. She was healthy, worked out, and had no underlying issues.
She just was a very special, exuberant person.
Craig Shipley is holding back the tears as he describes the love of his life, Sharon Seiler. She died of complications from COVID-19. Craig says it all started with the cold. From there, she got a high fever and a bad cough. He too was experiencing similar symptoms, but not as severe. That's when they decided to use the Live Health app to find a doctor.
We found a doctor, and they named the doctor, and they say, this doctor's going to call you. There's X number of patients ahead of you.
Then an hour later, they got a phone call.
And you're thinking it's the doctor, and pick it up, and it was a recording that said the doctor has decided not to visit with you at this time.
After several attempts, Craig says they became overwhelmed and frustrated with the system. The only thing they could do was try to rest. Then early Monday morning,
her hand was on my shoulder, and I reached over to grab it, and it felt kind of cold, and I turned the light on and looked, and she wasn't breathing and everything.
Sharon had died. Craig was never tested, but he was put on self-isolation, forcing him to mourn the loss of Sharon alone.
I don't have a lot of friends and friends of hers that would have come over, and a big part of the getting through this is all the the interaction between the people that love you and the people that loved her, and so that's all sort of pushed to the sides.
And it's unknown how Sharon got the virus, but Craig hopes by sharing her story, it'll inspire more people to stay at home. Reporting in Studio City, I'm Chris Holmstrom, KCAL 9 News.